Hey everyone, I have a Korg Krome music workstation, which is an awesome keyboard synthesizer, weighted key piano, but got a couple of problems with it. The B key here does not press down, and lately the E key does not press down unless sometimes if I jiggle it, I can get it to go down, but that started just a couple of days ago where it will not press down. This is middle C, so the A key here, if I press it, it does not want to come back up right away. And the G key kind of takes its time coming up. F key is perfectly fine. The D doesn't want to go down. The D is fine. C is a little slow, but it's okay. And middle C is perfectly fine. So we're going to have to take the keyboard apart and see if we can fix this. And so I'm going to go through a instructional video on how to take apart a Korg Krome, and hopefully this will help other people as well. All right, so the first thing you want to do is lay the keyboard down on the floor or on a long enough shelving area. That's my dog. Say hi. And you have to take the keyboard and flip it over upside down. Right, just like that. Now, there are a ton of screws on this keyboard. It's overkill to me. But on the perimeter, on the outside of the keyboard, I think there's 30 total silver screws. Okay, that's all along the outside. Along the inside here, there's another set of black screws. Now, this is not my first time taking this thing apart, so I did not put the black screws back in once I'd taken it apart the first time. Now, I have to find the spot. Hush. Here is an indented part of the molding. There's a screw down there. And in here, in this track along here, there are screws in here as well. And then, of course, along the outside. So if you do not get all the screws out, when you flip it back over, the keyboard will not come off. So don't try to force the keyboard off. If it doesn't come off naturally, then you've still got some screws in here. So inside each of these holes in the molding, there are screws in here as well. All right, I'm gonna start taking the screws out now. I've got a power drill here that I hope the battery's not gonna run out before I get done with everything. So I'm gonna start here at the back corner and make my way around. So I'll be right back when this is done. Okay, I have all the screws taken out. This metal strip that runs along the bottom, this has silver screws in it as well. Do not take those screws out. You don't need to remove those. So only the screws that are on the plastic molding around the perimeter of the keyboard. All right, now here's the tricky part if you are working alone, is turning the keyboard back over. Now, here are some of the screws. As I said, it's got a bunch of silver screws, and then along the inside, there's a bunch of smaller black screws, which, as I said, I did not bother putting those back in once I've taken this thing apart, probably 3-4 times now. So now the trick is flipping the keyboard back over to the front. And I'm not going to be able to hold the phone and do that at the same time. So what you have to do, though, is hold it from the base here, underneath here, and on the other side, because when you're flipping it, that will fall off. The keys aren't going to fall off. The front part of the base will. So you have to hold this and carefully turn it back over. All right, be right back. All right, got the keyboard flipped over. All the screws are out. Some of them are still on the rug here. Let me get them out of the way. All right, so now this whole top piece here comes off, and you don't just lift it straight up. You have to lift it like you're flipping it back. And there's a cable that is attached right around here in the center. That's attached to the base. So you can't just lift this straight off. You have to carefully lift this up so that you don't pull it further than the cable allows, and then you snap that. And what I have here is a workout bench that doesn't get much use. And then I'll lean this against the workout bench. So you want to lift this up, and you can lay it flat, but I prefer to lean it up against something. So get your hands under the keyboard here. And it will come off if you've got all the screws out. Okay, this is the cable here. Now, if you phone was acting up there, so I'm going to repeat some of this. So lift up, carefully, and your cable is attached here. So if you hold the plastic, you can pull that cable right off of the connection there, off of the card. And there. The memory card, the micro SD card, is right here, and there is a video. There's not mine, but there's other people's videos on YouTube about how to take this out and reformat a card, because the Krome also has a problem where it creates static on certain patches, and you have to reformat an SD card and insert it back in here in order to fix that issue. So here are the keys, and again, here's my E, and here's my B that's not working. Hopefully that's showing up in my video here. I've got to set this down. Okay, so there are, up and down the keyboard, each octave is its own section, so I don't have to take off this entire keyboard. And each section has 3 screws in it. So all I have to do is take out these 3 screws, and then I can remove this section. All right, so let me get my drill. See, now the E wants to work all of a sudden. Now, these are different from the screws around the body, so make sure you put those in a separate place and Don't get them mixed up and don't lose them. Okay. Now, this is a little hard to show on the camera, but on the back side, there are little snaps that you have to get your fingers into in order to pull them up. And then you can gently, you pull up the back and pull the keys kind of up and forward, and that gets them, it gets these hooks off. Okay. Now, okay. All right, so this is what the underside, the inside of the keys look like. Now, if you notice, each of these pegs has a little black rubber bumper on it. All right. The keys that are messed up, the rubber bumper is missing because it is, when my phone falls, we can cut that out in post. All right. So rubber bumper is missing here, and a rubber bumper is missing here because they are stuck on the inside of the keys. So got to take a screw and it's going to take two hands, pop them out. They are really jammed in there. All right, try a longer screw. And to me, this seems like certainly seems like a factory defect to me, because this has been repeatedly happening on these keys. So this might be really hard to see, but that's what these little black pegs look like, and the white stuff is supposed to be, I guess, some kind of grease that keeps them from drying out. Okay, so the key presses down and then it pivots on this long metal rod that runs underneath here, and then you'll see back here. All right, so that's what makes the keys weighted, but still keeps the keyboard light, because this whole keyboard is like 32, 35 pounds. And then this rubber bumper here, this is what taps on the PC board to give you the sound. Now, I I don't understand I don't understand why just one bumper will fail on me and no place else on the keyboard. Because as I said, this is maybe my fourth time opening this keyboard and trying to fix this issue, and this issue is only in this octave. So I have gone through and replaced this octave of keys with a higher octave and swapped the whole key set out. And the problem still exists right here in these mechanisms. So it is not the black and white keys that's the problem. It is the lever here and the bumpers. So I just have to keep taking it apart and putting some Vaseline on it or some baby oil to keep these lubricated and hope that it works for a while or it just works permanently. Now I said the A key was slow to go up and down, and it looks like it looks like it might be dry actually. And these other keys, I'm pretty sure I saw a video that a guy had put Vaseline on them. So I'm going to put that across these bumpers again and see if that helps to keep them from coming apart inside here, where if you can see there's holes. It's really hard to explain, but there's holes inside here that these bumpers fit into, and I guess they're supposed to slide back and forth without coming off. So I guess the problem is that when they dry or they get stuck and they come off of the key, and then the key doesn't press down. So that sounds like a flaw. What else? You can change the keys up and down the octave if you've got like a broken key here or something. These, like I said, they're in octave sections, so you can swap these out, except for the very last one and the very first one, because they start on a C and end on a C, so that has an extra key to it that won't fit in the middle. Guess how I found that out? I took the whole thing off. All right, so going to take a Q-tip and dab a little bit of Vaseline across each of these, and take my rubber bumper here and stick that back on there. And when you have this problem and put that on there, it doesn't snap or anything, it just sits there. I can okay, everyone else is fine. Actually, you know what? Maybe there is something there, because it is just sliding on, and the other ones have kind of a little pull to them where they don't want to slide off. So maybe I will grab a bumper from another lower octave and see if that might help. But otherwise, you can't find anything wrong with like the reflex of them. They all seem to work fine until you put the keys on. All right. So in reverse, when you want to put the keys back on, you have to put them, you have to hook them into the front and then snap them into the back. But if you snap it too soon, the keys aren't down. So it's a bit of a trick, right? You hear them snapping into the bumpers, and then they're like this. But then if you find that, okay, see, my problem still continues, and the E's not right. So you have to just kind of take it off and on a couple of times and get them lined up in there the right way. See? Alright, so anyway, I'm going to have to fix the E and fix the B. And see the A here. Kind of slow to come back. The F and the G are just fine. It's the weirdest thing. And the sharps are just fine. The C and the D are fine. The B won't go down and the E won't go down. So anyway, I haven't fixed anything yet, but that's just your quick lesson on how to get the keys off and on and what is underneath here. I get those off, and of course the bumper came off again, and this time it fell down in there, so I'm going to get my pliers to get that out of there. But I think that's pretty much everything I can show you on this video. So if you have to do this repair, good luck, be very patient, and hope it works for you. All right, see ya.